Right, good evening everybody. Debbie here from Craftywafty, and I've come to show you how I've made my Craftywafty. Oh, there we go, we've got a bit of a feedback on that one. Right, let's start that again, shall we? Sorry about that, everybody. Yes, so Debbie here from Craftywafty, and I'm going to show you how I've made my lovely little book of love, as I've called it, because I thought obviously coming up to Valentine's Day, you know, if there's for somebody that little bit special that you want to make that for, that loved one in your life, or if you want to gift it to yourself. I'm all about the self-love, okay? So anyway, so this is what I've made. I'm going to do a little talk through and show you what it's all about. But what I wanted to say as well is please bear in mind actually that this doesn't just have to be Valentine's Day. You can, depending on the papers you use, you can have it for birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, anything like that, so you can change it up to whatever you want. So it is quite a versatile little book, this. So let's crack it open and have a little look. So I'm just going to undo the ribbon here, and as we open it up, ta-da, there we go. So we've got quite a few little things to show you. Now first of all, let's do this side here. Now on here we've got three little little boxes, okay. So the first one, so these are just for you to put little gifts and stuff in. Now if it was a Valentine's and it was something special, you might want to pop a little ring in there, a bit of jewellery, you know, whatever you like. But that's one of those there. This big one, I thought, it's quite a nice size, so you might get a little bar of chocolate in there, a packet of sweeties or something nice like that. You could even possibly get some theatre tickets or something in there as a gift, whatever it's going to be, but that would sort of fit nicely into the box like so. Okay, got a little bit of ribbon there. And this one, I thought I'll just do something a little bit different just to show you how you can change things up a bit. Okay, and this one, when you take the lid off, it's got a little string of love hearts. See? How cute is that? Obviously, if you're not making a Valentine's one, you could make this, but maybe put flowers or something on it, you know, it's up to you. But that's just a nice little extra on there. So those three boxes there. And then we'll just move this over to this side. Now here I've made a stacked pocket. Okay, so we've got our little envelope here, and I'll just open that up. And inside you can tuck a little secret message or something in there if you wanted to. Or again, maybe tickets to the theatre or something like that, or cinema, or whatever it may be, you can sort of tuck in there. Okay, and then we've got here, we've got a little book, well, two little things. I've got a little photo mat that you can put a lovely photo of the person on there that you're giving the gift to, or maybe, you know, for you as a couple, you can put the two of you on there together. And then here is just a little little book here which will take a 3x4 photo. So I haven't photomatted it yet, but basically you can put your little photos in there as well, or you could put some paper in there and write a little love poem or whatever it may be. It's totally up to you. Okay, so you just got those options there. And then the last, at the very top of the pocket here, I made a Valentine's Day card to match in and using all the paper. And here what I did was, because this paper range was something that I had in my stash, I'm all about using up my stash at the moment, but I didn't have a huge amount of it, and so I had it just enough to cover here, but then it left me with lots of strips. So I actually did a strip card, and then just put some hearts and obviously a bit of matching ribbon and that on there as well. And then that's just sort of blank for you to put in. So it's up to you. Now you could make your own card if you wanted to as well, or you could buy a card and pop that in one of these little stacked pockets. But I thought the whole thing, I think it just looks really lovely, and what a lovely gift idea for somebody, you know, that who's an extra little bit special. But like I said, if you've got big birthdays coming up, like 18th birthday, maybe 21st, you know, you can sort of decorate it like so. And, you know, just put your little bits and pieces in there. So that is, as I've called it, my little book of love. And then, as you can see, I've just decorated it on the top. And then I've used some of the matching paper from the inside on the outside as well. And the same here. So I've tried to incorporate as much of the paper range as I can and incorporated some of the outside into the inside, so it just sort of flows through nicely. So there we are. So that is what we're going to make tonight. Let me just tie this up and pop this out the way like so. Now, what I wanted to just, I'm just going to pop that over there, so that's out of the way. Now, if you haven't got any Valentine themed or love themed papers at home, we do have in the shop, craftywafty.co.uk. We've got this by Echo Park, Love Notes, absolutely love it. You've got lots of lovely different paper ranges, papers there going across. And what I love about it is that the colour tones will all blend into one another, which is just great. I don't know if you can see here. Also, you've got a sheet of stickers. You've got 3x4 cards. You've got some like 4x4, 3x3 cards rather. Are they 4x4? No, 4x4 cards. And then you've got some of the 4x6s on there as well. So you've got lots and lots of little goodies to use to decorate your album or your book of love. And let me just turn it over here, and as you can see, these are all lovely little stickers as well. So if you wanted to grab one of those, then we've got a couple of those left on the shop. But I just love it, you know, and you can really decorate up your book. And obviously you can use some of this to make your card as well. And then we've also got the Echo Park Love Notes ephemera as well. And again, you've got like little frames in there. You've got XO there. You've got some little phrases, little balloons there, little hearts and stuff like that. And then we also have in the shop these little enamel hearts again, which are really sweet, and the colour tones on those are sort of going from that nice sort of rose pink and fading down to the pearl, actually would go beautifully with this range. So if you haven't got anything for your to make a book of love, as it were, then obviously do check out the store and see what we've got. Now, I'm just going to pop that to one side. But tonight, I'm going with something a little bit different. It is sort of love themed, but the idea for this one is that I am going to decorate it with papers that I may use for an 18th birthday gift. Okay, but some of the papers I've selected are got lovely little love hearts and things like that on. But I think what we need to do is get started with our album, our little book of love. I've got my measurements here. Let's just get everything over here out the way. There we go. Okay, there's a bit of spare card there. Now, what I thought I'd do is for the first part of this evening is show you how to make the book and all the little bits that go inside it. And then the second part, I thought what I'd do is show you how I'm decorating the book. So you get it in two halves tonight. Just want to say hi to Teresa. I believe Teresa's popped on and watching, so give me a little thumbs up. That'd be lovely. Now, what we're going to start with is I've got some mount board here, but you can use construction board. Okay, doesn't matter. You can use one or the other to make your book. Okay. And if you can't get hold of mount card, we have got this, or the mount board, we have got this in the shop as well. But construction card, if you haven't got this, then just stick a couple of cereal packs together, okay? And then that will do just as well. So, shall we go through and talk about some of the measurements of what we're going to do? So first of all, here we are with my lovely little clips again. Just pop that over there. Right, you need 2 pieces, 6 1/4 inch by 8 1/4 of an inch. You need 2 pieces. Obviously they're going to be the front and the back. Okay, and then you're going to need your spine to go in the middle, and this is 1 3/4 inches by 8 1/4 inch. And what we're going to do is we're going to sort of stick these together. Now, on some of my albums I have done before, I've used big sheets of black cardstock, and then I've sort of placed these on and sort of folded it over. But tonight, for quick and ease, we're going to use some construction tape, or as it's also known as tiger tape, especially if you get it from Cool Cats Crafts. They've got that on there at the moment. So we're going to make a start with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the construction tape round 1, 2, 3 sides, leaving one side plain. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to do construction tape just at the top and the bottom on there, and then we'll get to put them together. Okay, now what's nice about this is it's been nice and white. You can see exactly what I'm doing. So let's have a little go. Now this stuff is always a little bit tricky, so I'm just going to unpeel. Here we are. I love that sound. Am I the only one who loves that sound? I love this sound. It's like, and it gets deeper and deeper as you pull it. I know, I'm sad. I don't get out enough. I think that's my problem. Okay, right, I'm just going to rest that in the middle, and then I'm just going to pull that a little bit more. Now, if you can't do this and wrap it all the way around, then do it in strips, okay? I'm just being a bit, this is where we get a little bit cack-handed. That's it. Right, I'm just going to rest that on there and tuck that on there, like so. Right, I'm just going to snip that bit off. Okay. So I've gone around 3 sides, but like I said, you can go around and do one side at a time if you find that a little bit tricky. I'm not saying that I don't find it tricky, but you know. Right, I'm just going to snip in the corners on both sides, like so. And I'm just going to take a tiny little bit out, just so it miters those corners just a little bit, so it doesn't become too bulky. Just take that off, that's it. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, just cut those little triangle bits. Not quite coming off there, but they'll fold in. Okay, and then we're just going to cut and do that one. Right, okay, now I've done that, I'm just going to come along the top, and I'm just going to ease that down. And as you can see, as I'm pushing that down, I'm just making sure that that tape is sat right on that edge. Okay, what I don't want is any little bubbles. Right, let's take that off. Right, then we're going to come around the other side, just smooth that down. And I'm just going to, because I want it to be nice and flat, so I'm just moving this along like so. And then we come to the last bit. That's it, iron out some of those wrinkles, and then we're just going to come along and do that last little bit. Like so. And then where's my Bernie? I put him somewhere. I've put him somewhere safe. I bet I've put him away. Where are you, Bernie? Is that the Bernie one? No, there's my Bernie. Here we are. Right, okay, and I'm just going to Bernie burnish all the way along. Just make sure that that's all nice, and don't worry about if this is wonky or not, because to be quite honest, once you stick your paper on there, you're not going to notice. All right, so that's that first one done, and then we're going to do the same on the second one. So I'm just going to, here we go. It's that sound again. It does. It gets really deep. All right, I'm going to pull that right out. Now you can't quite see it. I've come off the camera a bit there. Here we go. Okay. And then I'm going to put that on like so. Right, I'm going to fold that over, and then I'm going to come up and over on the other side. Just going to snip that off, put that there, and then I'm just going to snip the corners. Oops, some of these bits just sticks together. It's nearly as bad as messing around with red liner tape, this. It's just, and we all love the red liner tape. It sticks to everything, doesn't it, when you use that? Right, okay. But here we go. I'm just going to snip those out, and then we've got, oops, come on. It's got stuck on my scissors now. Let me just move that off. There we go. All right, and then the last one. Here we are. We're just going to snip, 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 like so. That's it. Oh, now it's stuck to my finger. Never mind. Right, okay. So where were we? Right, let's come back here. And again, I'm just going to ease that down. Make sure I've got a nice sharp edge all the way along. Come up on the other side. I'm just going to, again, smooth that along. Make sure that is like so. Okay, and then the last side like this. Whoops, nearly bent it then. Right, okay, who else have we got watching us tonight? Ah, Nicola. Welcome, Nicola. So do say hi in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. That'll be absolutely lovely. Right, okay, way up. There you go. Right, now I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the end of these. Like so. Just going to snip that. And I'm just going to put that on there. So we'll just tuck that over. That's much easier to work with. I'm just going to trim that little bit off. Okay. And then we've just got our last little bit on here. Okay. And then we can put this tape away. Like so. Okay. Well, can you believe it, everybody? We are almost at the end of January. This month seems to have gone on forever and a day. I don't know about you, but it seems to have gone on forever. Right, let's just snip those and snip that excess off there. Right, that's it. We'll get rid of all those little bits there. Okay, here we are then. Right. So just to recap those measurements, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4, 2 of those, and then this one is 1 3/4 by 8 1/4 as well for the spine. Right, okay. Now, if any of you saw me do the Christmas card album, you'll see how I joined these together, and I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm just going to start with one side first, and what I did was I just literally pulled a strip all the way down. Oops, get off my finger. Okay, and right, I've just got that resting there. And then I just literally put this not right halfway in, because I need to allow for a little bit of gap between the cover and the spine in order to be able to bend the book itself. So I'm just coming in probably about 1/4 of an inch or thereabouts. And then the spine is going to come in, and again I'm going to leave myself about 1/4 of an inch gap as I put that down. Now, if you're unsure about doing this like this, you can obviously get a ruler and just make sure that it's level at the bottom, and that is pretty level at the top. And then what I'll do is I'll just bring this one over I'm just going to run my finger down there, and then I'm just going to take the rest of this up, keeping that nice and flat at the bottom, and just running that along, and then we're just going to snip that off like so. I'll just get me Bernie. Here we go. Like so that's our first bit done, and then the second one I'm going to do exactly, or the second cover, the other side, we're going to do exactly the same. So I'm just going to roll that out. Here we go. And I'm going to come in about there we go. And then just to get this one lined up, I'm literally just going to set that there. Whoops, come on. Right, there we go. I'm just going to rest it there and give myself again about 1/4 of an inch gap ready to help with that hinge folding, and I've got it nice and level at the bottom. And then I'm just going to fold this over the top, put that down, and then we're just going to unravel and move that up. And again, I'm just making sure that's nice and flat against that edge. And then we're just going to cut that off, and that, can you believe it, is your cover done already. Perfect. And then we'll just smooth it all over, and we'll just set it up like so. Right, now we've got the basic cover done. What we want to do is start making the elements to go inside. So we're going to be making the boxes. So I'm just going to tap that over there. Oh, let's have a slurp of tea. And it's quite warm tonight as well. By the time I get in here, normally my tea is like a bit on the cold side. Okay, so we're going to make 2 ring boxes, and we're going to make the bigger box. Okay, now we'll start off with the base box first. Let's just pop those bits over there. And I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers explosion board, or box board, to do this. But if you don't have one of these, then I'm going to give you the measurements and tell you where the score line is, okay, so that at least then you can do this at home, all right, because I appreciate not everybody has all of that. Oh, I believe we've got Steph watching as well. Hi Steph, welcome. So the 2 measurements I've got here now for the base, it's 7 5/8 of an inch by 6 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I'll just repeat that. 7 inches and 5/8 of an inch by 6 1/8 of an inch. Okay, that's your base. And then the lid is 7 3/4 of an inch by 6 1/4. I'll repeat that again. That's 7 3/4 of an inch by 6 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now when I was making up my prototype, I suppose you can call it, what I found is that with the exploding box board, that their measurements were, that the lid was just a little bit too loose for me, so I've adapted and changed the dimensions slightly on the board. Okay, but that's why I'm giving you the measurements now, so that you know that when you come to make yours, you'll have a much nicer snug fit. Okay, now on the exploding box, it does give you all the measurements here, which is great if you're doing an exploding box, but we are doing something a little bit different tonight. But I'm using the board because, one, it's got the lid line, which means that I'm going to use that for the depth of the box, but it's also got this really lovely diagonal as well, which helps with the corners, so that's really useful. Okay, now this measurement from here to here is 1 inch and 1/8. Okay, so if you're doing this at home on an ordinary scoreboard, that's the measurement you want. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to pop this on here. This is the base, and I'm just going to score round all 4 sides 1, 2, here we go, 3, tuck that in that corner there, 4, and then I'm going to come in and do the diagonal. Now the diagonal just comes down to where those 2 score lines have crossed over. You don't want to come any further, okay? I'm just going to tuck that in there, and I'm just going to bring that down. But if you haven't got one of these boards, then you can either score this by hand, or you can use your, if you've got a scoreboard, then you can do that, and you just need to line up your corners and sort of come down and do it that way. All right, so that is the base, okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same for the lid. So again, that measurement is 1 inch and 1/8. I'm going to come round and we're going to do that, and that one, and 2, and number 3, and number 4, and then I'm going to come in and do the corners. Okay, 2, 3, and the final one, 4. Now while we've got the board out, we're going to also do exactly the same on our 2 little ring boxes. So I'm going to give you those measurements, and then we're going to put them all together. Okay, so I'm just going to click these together out of the way. Now the ring boxes, okay, we've got 2 sizes again. So you've got the base. Now the base for this is 4 3/8 of an inch by 4 3/8. Okay, so I'll say that again. For the base of the ring box, it's 4 3/8 of an inch by 4 3/8 of an inch, and the lids are 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So just to repeat that again, that's 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. Okay, so they're your measurements, and exactly the same as I've done on the bigger box, or I refer to it as the chocolate box, because that's the box I think you'd put your chocolate in. Well, I'd hope so, because then you get more chocolate in that than you would the little ring boxes, if you know what I mean. Anyway, right, okay, so we're just going to score around all 4 sides, like so. And then I'm going to come in on the diagonals, and again, just up to that cross point of the score, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll just get these all done, and then we're going to do exactly the same on these. So come down to, these are really handy, these boards. Now I think I got my one from Amazon, so if you haven't got one, then check that out. They're really useful, especially for doing the diagonal. But I do appreciate if people haven't got money to spend on things like this, and yeah, you just need to come up with another way of doing something. Okay, here we go. On the last 2 bits. So I'm just hoping, I wonder if I'm going to get a bar of Galaxy in mine. I do like a bar of Galaxy. Other chocolate varieties are available, but I'm partial to a Galaxy bar. Okay, and our last square, and pretty much once this is done, most of your assembly is almost done already, and then it's just literally doing the other side and for the stacked pocket. So there's not really a huge amount to this, but I just love it because it just looks so effective, and you know, you can see how quickly we're sort of ploughing through this. It doesn't take that long to do. Right, okay, I'm going to pop that out the way. Right, so now that we've got them scored, I'm just going to fold along. Now I like to fold all the lines first. Okay, and depending on how you've scored it, and then I come to the corner and I'm just going to push in on that. Now you can see why having the diagonal score on there just makes it easy. I mean, look at that. That just folds in lovely Okay, and we'll go around with me burnish. There we go. I'm just going to go around and do all 4. Give that a nice crease, like so. Just so that lines up beautifully. Okay, and we're going to do that on that one, and then we're going to do exactly the same on the other ones. So I'm going to fold on that one and fold on that one, and then again I'm just going to put that in, give that a little squeeze down like this. So I thought it'd be nice to show you how to make this tonight, and then that gives you enough time if you're going to make one for somebody, because I think Valentine's Day, because obviously we're at the end of January, aren't we? So you've got what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks, right? And then we're going to do the other little boxes. Just going to fold these and tuck these on here. I'm just going to squeeze that one. There we go. On down there. Okay. Just give that a quick, like so. And then we can, what I love is about doing the decorating bit. Now I'm just going to fold that on the other side because I've got the pencil mark in there. Okay, that folds in. That one's folded in quite well. Like so. Is that the lid? That's the lid. Yep. Okay, and then I've just got the others just folded up. It's quite therapeutic, this, mind you. Those of you that saw me do the Advent calendar book, we had to make 24 boxes, so that was 48 of these sort of little things all in one go. And you know, when you're just like, oh my goodness, after a while I thought I was dreaming of making little boxes, but that looked really good. And if you haven't seen that, do pop along to our YouTube channel. You can see how I made that. So there we are. Okay, right, 1 2 3. So we've got our lids and our boxes and our base one. Now I'm going to use some of my lovely glue, and now when we come to put these together, just to let you know, I'm going to put for the lid, I'm going to have it so that these go opposite each other when I glue them down. Okay, so they just come across like that, and the same on the other side. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on the base. So let's just put, so I normally put a little bit of glue in there, and then a little bit on the other side, like so, and then I just hold that down. And when I've got my lovely little clips, these are so handy, I can just pop that on there and that will hold that in place while I come around and do the others. And by the time I get round to the last one, then that one should have dried quite nicely, because we're using the good old bookbinding glue, which doesn't take too long to hold its place there. There we are. And then we're just going to do this bit, and I'm going to come in and do on the inside. I'm going to fold that one in. Now these little clips I got from Amazon. They're really great. I think you get 50 in a pack. I just use them for everything. They're just brilliant, because when I'm sort of doing projects like this, I can clip things together in little piles, so I know what I'm working with and so on. Right, okay, so that is one part, and then we're going to do exactly the same on this one. And I'm going to come in on there. Right, fold that over. There's another little clip. Here we go. And come around and do this Okay, or did I go round all? Oh no, I went the other way on that one. See, I said I was going to do it one way. It's habit forming. I've gone all the way round. It doesn't matter whichever way, but it will do on the smaller boxes, and I'll explain why. I've gone that way with the folds rather than opposite. Getting carried away, everybody. Right, I can undo those, and now here we go. Come on, glue. Just trying to use up all my dredges of glue in the stash. Do you ever find that you get to the bottom of the bottles and there's tiny little bits left over? So I'm trying to be frugal with my craft stash at the moment. Right, okay. So there we are. So we've got our base and our lid. So we're just going to put them to one side for the minute to dry. And now we're going to do exactly the same on our little boxes. Now, I just want to say with the little boxes, something a little bit different. Okay, so on these ones, I did go all the way round. I folded them following all the way round. But on your bases and your lids, you need to fold these definitely inwards, and they need to then be opposite, okay? Because when you come to put it together, you want it to slide on and off quite nicely, and I will explain all. So this is a box base. Where's my box lid? And this is a box lid. So when I've got my box base, I'm going to glue these together so that both those points come in like so, and on the opposite side. And then when I do the lid, again, that's going to come in on there and do exactly the same. But when we put the box together, it's going to alternate. You'll see what I mean when we come to do this. So let's just pop. That's a box base. Actually, I need to fold that out the other way because I want that writing on the bottom. Actually, I could rub that off. Where did I put you? Excuse me, folks. Right, okay, let's just get the little pencil rubber. Right, here we are. Just going to rub that off because I don't want that showing. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's glue these. So one is coming. Right, that's coming that way. I'm going to put the little clip on right up in that corner. That will, oops, hold it. There we go. Okay, and then this one is going to go into that way. Okay. I'm just going to put some little glue on there. That's going to fold in on that side. And again, I'm just going to clip that in there. So you see what I mean? I've got the two fold bits coming in together. So you're forming that sort of triangle on the inside. You can see that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same, but opposite on this side. So we're going to put some glue. That's going to fold in like so. And put a little clip on there. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. All right, and then that's going to fold in, and we're going to put a little clip on there. Okay, so that is just holding those corners together. So as you can see, I've got the two fold bits coming in together like that on both sides. Okay, and we're going to do exactly the same with the lid. Okay, so just again, we're just going to repeat. So I'm going to fold that in on there like so, and then I'm going to have this one come in opposite, and that will come round on there. Now it's easier to do this when you've got just plain black card or plain white card, but if you're making your boxes out of patterned card, then you're going to need to think about how you're going to fold these, and I'll explain all in just a minute. let's just pop that one off. I could take that one off there now because that's already got it. Okay, and put that glue in on there. That's going to come in on that side like so. Right, okay, so just letting that stop for a minute. Now, as you can see, all right, where we've got the two folds on either side, when we put the boxes together, we want to have it so that the folds aren't all on the same side, so they're not sitting like that on the inside. What we want is to have them like this, so that that will then sort of tuck in there, and then that means you're going to get that same sort of thickness going all around your box. Okay, and when we come to decorating it, then you need to decide. Now on my one I didn't put a little thumb notch in, but if any of you saw me do the advent calendar, you would have seen that I punched out a thumb notch. So I would want the flat side that hasn't got any of the folded bit on it to put my thumb notch in. If you're not sure what I mean by that, let me just grab it. It's just used to make it easier for, you know, if you want to take it off. So this is my little thumb notch, and if I was to pop that on that side there, let's just take that out. You can see where it is, and then I would just punch that. But I don't obviously want to do it where the folds are, because that's going to, you know, prevent, sort of potentially the box could sort of fall to pieces. So you would do it on the smooth side. Now this is what I was saying about when you're doing it with your directional paper, is because what you need is you need your base box, okay, that the sides go left to right, and your lid box will go top to bottom, because when you put it together, then that leaves that smooth side that if you're going to put a punch in it, then obviously you can then lift it up like so. That's if you're working with directional papers, if you're making your boxes out of patterned card or so forth. Okay, so just a little tip for you there. Okay, but I'm not going to do that on this one for this evening, but I thought I'd just mention it just in case anybody was planning on wanting to do that, because I just love to give you options of what you can do. Okay, right, and we're just going to pop that one on there. So we're nearly done with our two little ring boxes. Okay, I'm just going to fold that in like so. Okay, oh, it looks like I've got Lily watching this evening as well. Hi Lily, thank you for joining me. Give us a little wave in the comments. Okay, I'm just going to put the glue in on that. I'm just going to do double on that one. Tuck that in on there. And then this one. Like so. So that's that lid there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're just on the very last box. Okay. These look so cute when they're done, and you know, you get that really lovely professional finish on them as well. These little boxes, they're really dinky. Right, here we are. I'm just going to glue the other side. Okay, let's just pop that on there. Okay, right, and there we go. And the last side we're going to do. Right, and that is pretty much all the fiddly bits done. Okay, lovely jubbly. Right, so I'm just going to let those dry for a minute. Okay, so with our lids and our box bases, all right, what we need to do is, when we attach this to our book cover, okay, potentially this is going to hold a bit of weight, All right, so what I did was I actually stuck this down with a bit of red liner tape because I want the strength to be there to hold it. So I'm just going to put on the base, I'm just going to put a few strips of red liner tape. Now this is 12mm red liner tape I'm using. We do sell it on the shop. You get 50 meters in a roll. And trust me, it's surprising how quick this goes, especially when you're doing lots of these sort of projects. But we do have other thicknesses on there as well, so do check that out. Okay, and we're just going to now just put one in the middle because that will just help support that, like so. And our last one, it's just going to pop in there. On there, right, get me a little Bernie. Just give me a little rub over, just make sure that's sticking properly. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on the bases as well. So let's just take our clips off now. Okay, pop those out of the way. So let's just check to see, make sure they're the two bases. And that's the lid. You can see what I mean by that really snug fit, especially when you're putting these on opposite. That's just a really lovely fit. So these are our bases, so I'm going to do exactly the same on these. Just add a little bit of red liner tape. Because again, depending on what you're going to pop in these, but just gives it that added security, as it were. Whoops, there we are. Just missed that last bit. One top and bottom, one in the middle for these. And one in the middle. Here we go. Fab. 1, 2, 3, and oops. It's just like the roll of sellotape, isn't it, this stuff? If you lose the edge, that's it. I've got no chance of finding it. Okay, and here we are with the next one. And then our last strip on there. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to give this a little rub, make sure that that all goes in as well. There we are. Okay, now we've got our boxes and our lids, so I'm just going to pop all the lids to one side for a minute because we're just going to need the bases. And let's bring our book back. So the idea is that this is where you can change up. You can either have your book at your big box at the bottom and the two smaller ones at the top, or you can change it around the other way, whichever way you like, it's up to you. But obviously before we stick them down, I need to put my backing paper on. Now the paper that I've chosen, I've already prepped up, okay, and I've gone round and I've distress inked all the way around, and I've faux stitched as well. I've got my little strip there for the spine, and then I've got my two colours here. Now I've gone completely different in terms of, sometimes I know in a couple of my albums I've had exactly the same pattern, but I love this papers and I just wanted to sort of show it off really and sort of change it up a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. Now, because of the boxes that are coming over on this side, I've already prepped my bits of card for the boxes as well. And I'm just putting these on here because I'm just trying to make that final decision whether I like the boxes on that background or whether I like them on this background. I think they get a little bit lost on that one. So I'm definitely going to stick that one on that side. Okay. It's not until you start to put things together that you then can see, you know, how it's potentially going to look. So let's just pop those out the way. Now the measurements for these, I'm going to give you those. Okay. So it is, where are we? Here we go. 6 inches by 8 inches. That's fairly straightforward. Okay, and then the little strip is obviously 8 inches by 1.5 inch. Okay, and that's going to be the strip that's going to go down the middle. Now again, because this particular side is going to hold a lot of the weight of the boxes, I'm going to stick this down with some red liner tape. So I'm just going to come along the top and the bottom, like so. So that's the only thing you see with this paper. I love both sides, but why do they do that, these manufacturers? They put two great patterns together on the same bit of paper or bit of card, and then it means you have to choose it, or you have to buy 2 packs just to get all the different sides. Okay, so I'm just going to come along. So I'm just going around all the edge first, okay, and then I'm going to do a couple of strips down the middle as well, like so. Here we are. Just going to pop that in there, and what I will do is I'm going to use some bookbinding glue along with the red liner tape, just to sort of help stick down these bits in the middle, just so we get that nice secure fitting on there. Right, okay, just pop that to one side for a minute. Okay, where's me Bernie? Here he is. I'm just going to give that a rub down. Right, where's my super duper? I had a fairly new glue that I was using. Where have I put it? That's it. I'm just going to swap that one out. This is going to go quite quickly. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to take off the red liner tape, and then we're going to add some glue, and then we're going to stick this down on this side, like so. Here we go. And we're going to come around and do this one, and this one, and the last strip. Okay, and then I'm just going to literally run. Now, I've said this little tip before, I always put a little bit of glue, especially if I need a little bit of time to line things up. So we just put a little bit of glue on the red liner tape, and then I'm just going to wiggle a little bit in there. It's a bit hard to see on this side of the paper, but there we are. Okay, right, now we're going to line this up. Now, because it's all dots, it doesn't really matter too much which way up it's going to go, and then I'm just going to line it in. Now, I've cut this to size so that it gives me almost, whoops, here we go already, look, 1/8 of an inch. This is why we put the glue on, 1/8 of an inch round the edge. So I'm just trying to line that up before I drop that down, so we get that fairly straight. Okay, there we go. I think I'm going to go with that. Right, let's just pop that down and give that a good rub across. Okay. Now, this isn't going to hold any weight, so I can just whack some glue on there. It's a technical term, that. Whack a bit of glue on there. And again, I've gone around and inked and faux stitched all the way around all of these bits. Now, if anybody doesn't know what I mean by faux stitching, it's just doing like little dashes around there. Right, let's just line that up. Now, the important thing is to try and make sure that I line this up level with the one that I've just stuck down, so that when you open up the book, it looks fairly straight on that side. So that's good. There we go. I've got a nice sort of, I'm going to fold that, that's good. Right, and we're just going to move that over. Now on this side I'm doing a little stacked pocket. Okay, so I'm not going to worry too much about red liner tape on this side, because I'm just going to be tucking things in. There's not going to be a lot of weight on here, so I can just go straight ahead and glue this down. But if you're not 100% sure, then by all means go ahead and do a bit of red liner tape on there, but for tonight we're just going with this. Right, okay, and now I'm going to turn this over. Now because this is directional, obviously I need to make sure I put it up the right way, and again I'm just lining it up, so I've got that 1/8 of an inch and I'm lining it up so it looks good along the bottom as well. Okay, right, there we go. Okay, so that is the inside done. Now you can do one of two things. Okay, I have obviously put this on here already, but I could have left it off, put my pockets on and then tucked that through, which would have given me a better finish. I think I was a little bit eager, if I'm honest, but that's fine. It just shows you two different techniques then, so not to worry. Now we've got the pockets that are going to go on there, and then I've got the boxes that are going to come on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pre-line these roughly. Now these are going, if you remember what I said, it is left to right, the little fold bits in. Now it's up to you how you want to put them. I sort of had them so that they were lined up with the box at the bottom. Okay, if you want to bring them in a bit, that's fine as well. It's really doesn't matter, but that's where I'm going with that. Okay, so let's get the first one done. If you're not sure about your measurements, then use a ruler. Okay, and then you can guide that up there, so that makes that nice and straight going all the way along the bottom as well, and then that gives you something to rest up against. And also you can get your, if you square this off a bit, you can actually work out how many dents you're gonna, or how many 1/8 of an inches you're gonna come in. So it's about 1/4 of an inch either side. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to take off the red liner tape, and we're going to add a bit of glue to this as well, because again it's all about that wiggle room. Okay, so we're just going to take off the red liner tape. Okay, here we go, like so. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to this. Oops, without my bracelet getting stuck on it. There we are. There we go. Right, so let's just make sure. So I'm coming up about 5/8 of an inch, if anybody wanted to know. 5/8 of an inch. And I'm coming in 1/4 of an inch from either side, and I'm just going to move those out of the way. Right, and we're just going to rest that up against the bottom, and breathe. Right, and we're down. There we go. Whew. Okay, so that is that on. All right, and there's the lid that will sit on like so. Okay, now I put the lid on because obviously when I come to do these, the lid takes up a little bit more of the space, so we're going to turn this all the way around. Whoops, nearly lost that one. Let's turn this around like so, and these are going top to bottom, and I came in about 5/8 of an inch. from there. If I'm going to sort of space this out about the same, and I'm coming in again 1 inch off. Just double check that on the bottom. Was that 5/8 of an inch coming off? Yeah, it was. That's I always say, as my granddad would say, measure twice. Okay, so 5/8 of an inch coming up. That is coming from the edge of the book itself. Okay, and then these are going to come in 1/4 of an inch either side, and then hopefully that will line up beautifully on there. So now again, we're just going to take the red liner tape off, like so. Another one, and I will put a little bit of glue on here just to help me set it up. Okay, and we're going to do 1 box at a time. Let's just put a little bit of, I love that, it's squeaky. Squeaky glue. Okay, right, so what did I say? Top to bottom, coming in 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm just going to line that in. I'm going to drop that down. That's that one in, and then we've just got the final one to do. Okay. See, there's our little lid, which goes, that's it, which goes, sit it on there, like that, and then we're going to do the other one. Okay, right, we'll just add a bit of glue on this one, but because I'm not putting any notches in my box lids, I'm not overly worried how I put these on here for tonight. But as I said, if you are, I'll just give you that little tip earlier about putting the way that you actually fix these onto your book. Right, okay, and we're going to come in and a 1 inch, 1/4 of an inch there. Okay, and that's now dropped in as well. Okay, right, we'll give that a little rub inside, and now we can just tuck our little lids on like so. Turn this around, and there we go. So that's not bad going. That's looking pretty good. Okay, and then we would decorate that. So the next part is just to do our stacked pocket. Now the measurements for here is 7 inches by 4 1/4. Let me just double check that, because I think, yeah, 4 1/4 by 7. And then we've got 7 inches again, but by 2 1/2 inches. All right. Now, if you've seen me do pockets before, great. So what I do is I score 1/2 inch all the way around 3 sides, and as you can see, I've put the red liner tape on already in between that score line, and then I'm going to cut a mitre corner coming across so it goes through that cross point of the score lines, and then we just do a little wonky bit just to help it sit better. So I'm just going to cut in there, and I'm just going to do a little wonky bit like that, and then the same on this side, cut to the corner, and then just give it a little wonky bit like so. Oops, come on. And then I'm going to fold these around. Here we are, like so. Let's get a little bit of a burnish on them. That's it. And then I'm going to pop this pocket right at the bottom here. And like what I normally do with my pockets is I always stick base one on first and then flip up. So let's do that. So let's take off the red liner tape off the bottom. And again, if you're unsure about going for it straight away, just a little bit of glue, just to give it that little bit of wiggle room. And then I use these sides. I'm just going to line this up. So this is coming. Now I'm bringing this right to the bottom of that page there, of that paper. And I'm trying to use that as my guide to sort of centre that in. Like so. Okay, so that's that down. How we do? It's not too bad actually. That needs to come out over just a fraction. There we go. There we are. Right, okay. Just give that a quick burnish along the bottom, and then I'm going to stick these side bits down as well afterwards. So let's take these off. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, there we are, and then that's going to come up, and I just need to make sure that I stick that one down. So, and then that's going to come across, and we'll just give that a there we go, and just burnish that down on there. And that is our pocket on there. And then our next bit is we're just going to do the stacked pocket bit. Okay, and again I've scored 1/2 inch on either side, okay, on either edge rather, or either end. I'm going to fold that back like so, and then I'm going to again take off the red liner tape. I'll do one side first. Now when I'm putting this down, I want to make sure that I line it up with the pocket, and that edge is just going to come to that as well. So let's just line that up on the edge like so. That's going to run nice along there, and so I can now peel off and stick down the last bit on there. There we go. Okay, and tuck that down on there, and that is pretty much our basic book done in terms of the inside. Okay, now for the outside, I've used on here the ribbon, okay, which I will use for the same here, but I don't normally decorate the outsides until I finish the inside. But let's have a go with this. Okay, so we've got our 3 box lids, and I've already prepared the little bits to go on there, so we're just going to have a do with that. Oh, let's have a quick slurp of tea. Certainly keeps you going, does a cup of tea. Right, measurements for here. Now I've come in at 1/8 of an inch all the way round for these. So just to give you these measurements. So we've got 5 1/4 inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. That's for the top. And then you've got the little bits to come round the sides. So you've got 2 shorter lengths to the other. So let's just move that over there for the minute. Okay, so these are 7/8 of an inch by 3 3/4. Okay, because they're going to be the ones that stick on that side. And then the longer ones are obviously going to be 7/8 of an inch by, again, 5 1/4. So because I've already prepped these up ready to go, we're going to get those stuck on. Now this is sort of directional paper, okay. I mean, you've got the shoes and the yep, you know, and if I put it on that way, then they're upside down. So you just have to be careful when you look at your directional paper, just to see if there's anything significant on there that is going to make a huge difference in terms of what it's going to look like. So that's how I'm going to fix that down. So it literally is now just a case of gluing and sticking. So, and I'm only decorating the lids on here, but that's not to say that you don't have to, you know, if you wanted to put something in the base, you know, coloured card or what have you in the base, and that's absolutely up to you. But I'm just going to pop this on like so, and again I'm just moving it because I've got that 1/4 of an inch, well 1/8 of an inch rather, going all the way round, getting all the inch measurements muddled up tonight. Right, okay, let's just see how that is. That's not bad. So I always put the lid on first, and then I use that as my guide where I come along the side pieces. So it's just, so I wanted to go contrast with the lid to the sides. So here we are. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and as I'm doing that, I'm lining it up with the lid as well, just so I get and again just making sure that sits roughly in the middle. A little bit, let's just readjust this. Right, so that's coming in there. There we go. Whew. Right, one down, 3 sides to go, and then we're just going to work our way all the way around, and we're going to do exactly the same for the other 2 boxes. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on. That's sort of, now I've got one side done as well, I can sort of look at where that line's coming around as well, just to try and get that straight. So I'm looking at my edges at the top here, but also the distance that I've stuck the side bit on as well, just so that it follows the line all the way round. And then we're going to do our next one. Okay, there we go. I'll just work away all the way around until we've finished, like so. There we go. And then our last one, here we are. Oh, I'm going to rest that up against there for a minute. What I need is a gadget to hold these things up when I'm doing things like this. Right, I'm just going to come along and put the final one on. Line that, whoops, line that up. Line that up like so. There we go. Okay, all right, we're just gonna make sure that that is firmly stuck, and that is one done, and then that just pops nicely on there like so. Okay, now for the next the 2 little ring ones, okay, let's take those off. We've got, because it's directional papers, I'm just trying to work out which way round I'm going to stick these. So that needs to go that way, because that's going to be opposite. But because I'm not doing the hole punch on there, right, okay, so that's going top to right, left to right. So that's the way that they're going. Okay, and again, because it's directional on there, I need to make sure that I've got them around the right way. So again, I've just popped the thing on. Now these little squares are 2 inches by 2 inches. Okay, fairly straightforward. I'm just going to tuck that on there, line that up. Okay, look at that, I just love it. And the strips are again 7/8 of an inch by 2 inches. So they're quite straightforward. And we're just going to pop these on like so. Love the little stars. They're quite sweet. I'm just going to stick these round. And then we're going to repeat and do exactly the same. Now these little boxes, you can fit, well, you could fit a ring in them, a bit of jewellery, maybe a pair of earrings, perhaps a little Pandora charm. You know, you can put all sorts of little bits and pieces in here. I've come up with a little idea which I'm going to show you in a minute. Well, once we've finished doing the basics of this book. I'm going to pop that on there like so. There we go. Flip that over like the last side. And everybody see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to pop that on there. Right, so that's our little hearts on that one, or little stars on that one with a little hearts and little pair of lips. So that one I'm just going to pop on there for a minute. And then the final little box, we've got the little loves. How cute are they? And again, obviously exactly the same size. So I'm just going to pop that on there. Centre that. Okay, and then we're just going to stick our sides on. Like so. And again, I've gone round and as you can see, I've faux stitched all the way round these, including the black ones. Just getting a little bit carried away, but it is there. I know you probably can't see it from the camera, but in the flesh it's done. So that's the main thing. Okay. All right. Put that one on. There we go. 2 down. 2 to go. So considering, you know, it's just taken us just over the hour to put this together. I mean, obviously I know I had all my stuff pre-cut, but it'll just give you a bit of an idea as potentially how long it could take you to get it to this sort of stage. And then we've just got to finish off the stacked pocket side. And then what I will do is I'll then go through how to, you know, to do a couple of little extras, which is what I've got on here. Okay. Right, and I think that is that. So look at that already. How lovely is that? Absolutely love that. It's coming along a treat. Let's just move my little clips out the way. Right, and our next part is then we're going to just finish decorating off this side. Now, as I said, I could have put those on first and slid that page through. Okay, I've already pre-cut the card that I've got for here. So this measurement, I'll just give you that, to the bottom of the pocket is 5 3/4 inches by 3.5. That's going to sit just nicely on there. And then this one again is 5 3/4 by 2.25, and that is going to pop on there. So let's get these glued down, and then I can talk you through about the envelope and some of the other bits and pieces, and obviously the front cover. Now, whoops, let's pop this one on first. trying to make sure I've got that lined up at that top edge there. There we are. Okay, and then we've got this one. Now again, this has got lots of lovely words on it, so I need to make sure that I put it on the right way round. Let's just pop that loads of glue on there. Okay, and we're just going to drop that down, and again, as I'm dropping it onto the pocket, I'm making sure that I'm lining up these sides with the top pocket, and there we go, and that is our stack pocket. So how's that looking, everybody? If you like it, give me a little thumbs up. But that is our basic box, and then it's all the extra little bits and pieces that we're going to do. Okay, now I think with the album cover, I'll come back to tweaking the little bits inside in a minute. Let's just look at the album cover. So I've got exactly the same measurements for the inside as for the outside, because obviously they are the same size. I've got that one to go on the front. I'm going to pop this one on the back, and then I've got this one on the side. Okay, but what I want to do is add the ribbon. Okay, now the ribbon I've got some lovely red here, which has actually got some little white faux stitching on it, which I think is just going to look perfect with this book, and it's a nice deep red as well, so it's really gonna pop with the colours, with the other colours. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can either stick your red ribbon onto your album cover, okay, or you can stick it onto your page and then, or your piece of card, and then pop it down. It doesn't matter, whichever way you feel comfortable doing. Okay, I'm just going to do it on the page for tonight, because I think before I've shown you how to do it on the cover, but I'm just going to do it on this one. Now the length of this I think is about, I think I'll put in about 12 inches initially, because I need to have enough to tuck in and also to tie a bow. So I'm just going to cut that. So I've got two lengths at 12 inches. I'll find my scissors. So we're just going to cut one on there, and then I'm just going to come down and cut this one, and then that gives me a bit of length here if I want to tie a bow to put in, because this unfortunately is all the ribbon I've got for this particular one, so I want to sort of use it quite sparingly. Okay, now obviously this is 8 inches, and I need to come in, and this is about, what's the depth of that? That's about just over 1/4 of an inch. So I'm coming in 1, 2, 3. So there's my 4. I'm going to put a little, where's my pen? Put a little mark on there so I can see where the middle bit is. Oops, hang on. I think we were off there a little bit. Moved. There we go. Right, that's my middle. Okay, because when I stick my red liner tape on, I want to make sure that I've got the ribbon coming out the right side as well. So I do find putting red liner tape down for the ribbon works really, really well. Okay, so I'm just going to just overlap that a little bit and centre that in on that middle line. Just going to trim that off. Okay, and I'm just going to peel that bit off. Sometimes it's easier to do it this way than the other way, but just giving you options. Right, okay, so take that off, and then I'm just going to, when I put that length there, just centre that roughly. Okay, that's the first bit down. So when I turn that over, that is now going to be pretty much central to the album cover when that sticks down. Okay, And now I've got that one stuck on there, I can do the same with the back. So bearing in mind that's the back, so I need to sandwich it together, so I need to make sure I've got the right way round. So I can now mark that off on the inside, so I know roughly where that ribbon's going. Let's put the red line of tape just between those two bits. Okay, snip that off. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to add this other bit. That's going to come in like so. There we are. Oops. Peel that off. Right, and let's just pop that on there. That is sort of centered. So just to make sure I've got it almost lined up. There we go. That's not bad at all. When I put the two together, look at that. You can't get much closer than that. Look, it's bang on. Right. Okay, so now we've got the ribbon attached. I'm going to stick everything onto here. So what I'm going to do is put some red liner tape going around the outside and a strip down the middle. I know it's not necessarily holding any weight, but it's the front cover, and I want to make sure that it stays. And we can go over that ribbon as well, so that's just securing that in place a bit more all the way around. I'm going to do this on the front and the back. There we go. And I'll just do this last little bit coming up here, but I will be using some bookbinding glue as well, just to help stick down those other bits. There we go. Just try and stick that on, and just down the middle. Here we are, and a couple more. So we're just going to stick another one come down on there. So that's ready for the front, and then we're going to do the same on the back piece as well. Okay, and already you can see it taking shape, which I just love it. Just put this red line of tape all the way around. I have a confession to make. This sort of pattern does my eyes in. I'll be glad to see it on the other side. I don't know, does anybody else have the same problem? And like really like some stripes as well. I really can't look at some stripes, and some geometric patterns really do make my eyes go fuzzy, as it were. I'm sure I can't be the only one who finds some patterns like this just go a little bit. Ugh. And if this is you at this moment, as you're looking at this, I apologise. So I'll try to do it as quick as I can. I promise. I promise. Okay. Oh, goodness me. Right, let's just put that to one side for a minute, that one. Give our eyes a break, and I think we need a quick slurp of tea. Okay. Right, so now we've got that all down, I'm just going to give that a little burnish. Give me burnish. There we are. I'm just going to, again, peel these all off. And then we're going to stick this down on the front already. Like so. There we go. That one, and oh, whoops, a daisy. Here we are. And then we've got one more to go. I'm going to hold it with that bit of ribbon now. So And I'm just going to add a little bit of our glue. So come all the way along. It's so squeaky. Squeaky glue. I'll make that up and down. There we are. Right, okay, now when it comes to doing covers, I like to stand up for this so I can make sure that I've got it even squared on our page, on our cover. Right, okay, so I'm going to pop that down. Again, I've allowed about 1/8 of an inch to go round. And the important thing is to make sure that when you look at the book, that at least this edge and these top edges are straight. Okay. And I think that's a pretty good. Okay, now I can just give that a little gentle rub over with our bone folder. Right, okay, that will dry off. Right, okay, so that is the front cover on. And like I was doing with the lids, and I'm going to put the spine, and I'm going to line up the spine with those edges so it follows that all the way round. And so when we come to the back, I'm just going to stick this on with book-binding glue, like so. Here we go. I'm just going to pop that on and just lift that up, and then I can move that about a bit. There we go. Lovely. All right, so we'll give that a quick, let that set off, and then we're just going to flip it over, and then I'm going to stick the other one on. So we'll just take the tape off here, and we'll do this one quick because this is really not good for my eyes. Perhaps I should have put a filter on it. Come on. Right, let's get you done quick. And there we go. And then our last two bits. That's not quite stuck down. Come on then. There we go, that's better. And we'll flip that round on the other side. Okay. And then we're just going to add some glue. All the way round on our squeaky bits of red liner tape. That's it. We'll just go up and down. Okay, right. And now we're just going to attach this on here. So with this one, we've just got to make sure that the ribbon, let's just move those bits out of the way. And again, I'm going to stand up for this one. And so I've just got that sort of level with that. That's sort of level with that bit of ribbon. Level with our spine paper. And there we go. And that is our album cover. Well, in terms of just getting the basic paper or card on there. All right, so here we go. So this is where we're at. That is how to make your very, very basic Book of Love album. Okay. Now, obviously, I've given you all the measurements for here. If you want to go away and that's it, you've seen it and you just want to go off and decorate it yourself, then by all means do so. But what I'm going to do in the next part is show you how I've made, like what I did for the envelope and a couple of the other little bits and pieces, and doing the little hearts and things like that on the inside. So if you're happy to carry on watching, then that's what I'm going to be working on next. Okay, So first things first, when I was talking about things that you can put in your little boxes, obviously if you've got little gift ideas and things like that, then you can put your little gifts and that in. But one thought I had was, which was quite nice, which I didn't do on the original album, but I've done it on here, is I've actually got a little jigsaw puzzle. I'm just losing some of the bits. So this was a die. Let's just pop that on there. This was a die that I had that cut me out a little miniature jigsaw puzzle, and what I've done is that I've die cut out a happy 18th. Okay, I glued that onto my jigsaw puzzle before I put it through the die machine. So I had to put it, I'll be honest, I had to put it through a couple of times, but it has now cut through. And what I love is that actually I can now dismantle this. She says very gently, because I haven't quite, but I can dismantle these pieces and I can actually pop them into one of the boxes. So that means whoever gets it can obviously then put it together. I've obviously used a die to do that, but you could use a bit of card stock and put and if you haven't got a die to cut a jigsaw puzzle, you could just cut yourself a square and just cut out your own like little zigzags and things like that you can put it together. I've used a bit of white card with the die over the top, but you could also use photo. You know, if you've got something like that, you can use a photo and make that into a jigsaw puzzle. But look, that's really sweet, isn't it? Look, you've got all those little bits in there so that, you know, when they come to put it together, I'll just sort of tuck that in there. It's just an extra little thing. Obviously, with your big box, if you're putting chocolate and stuff in it, you can line that with a nice bit of red tissue. Or as I said, you can put some patterned paper in the bottom there. That's up to you, but I'm just going to leave that one blank. But for this one, I did on the other one, I did the little hearts. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so we'll do that first and then we'll look at the other side. So we're just sort of focusing on our little decorative bits at the moment. So I'm just going to pop that up out the way for the minute because I'm going to need some space. Now what I've done is I've cut 16 little hearts and I've inked round them. Okay, but I've not faux stitched. Okay, there is a point you can't do where you could just overdo the faux stitching too much, and to be honest, I thought I'm not faffing around with these little things, but if that's something you want to do, then you're more than welcome. Okay, I've got some baker's twine. I absolutely love this stuff. I don't think it gets used as much as it should do really, but I think it's great. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to use to stick the hearts on. Now, when I did this, I think I did about a 16 inches of the twine. Oops, everything's falling to pieces out here. Oh, come back, little heart. So we've got, so that's 12, and then another 4. So roughly 16 inches, okay? And what I did was that I do the string bit first, and I just lay this up. So where I've got my grid, I apologise that you can't necessarily see the ends on here, but I'm just going to work out roughly as I lay these down, and I think I did about 2.5 squares. So if I lay these out, 2.5 squares on my grid from the tip to that, because that sort of comes in like that, and I'm just going to line these across. Let's see what I'm doing here. So 2.5. So I'm going to go along with 8 of these. Okay, now these have already been inked before, so I'm putting the ink side down, because what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich these together between the twine. So I'm just lining up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we'll do 6 first of all. Now my baker's twine I'm going to lay across the top and try and make sure I've got an roughly an even amount. I know these are going to move a little bit, but it's just a little bit. I'm trying to work this out. Okay, I have to adjust that slightly. 2.5. Okay, like so. All right, and then literally I'm just going to put a bit of glue on each one, and then I'm going to sandwich it between the hearts. So we'll just do that bit first. Once you've got the first one down, it's not too bad. Okay, and this is a rough estimate. I mean, you know, somebody just need to go with your gut on this one, and then I'm just making sure that that baker's twine comes out the top end of the heart, like so. Whoops, there we go. I might have to hold this one up. There we are. Right, we're just going to sandwich that together so that comes out like so. So you've got the point where the twine is, and then at the top. Right, okay, so that was 2.5. So we're leaving that one out. So again, I'm just giving that a little bit of tension. It's just a rough estimate, all right? Please don't stress about it being exact, but okay, I'll stick that one down. And again, once you've got the first one down, it's not too bad. Okay. So I just want them to be fairly evenly spaced. Okay, there we go. Right, now we're coming up to 2.5 again on this one. That's it, line that up. Put glue either side. Put our little heart on. Whoops, it's a little bit fiddly. But I just love this effect. I just think it looks great when it's done. But as I said, if you're not making this for Valentine's or you're doing it for a birthday or something like that, you can change this up and have like flowers on it, or you know, whatever else that you so wish. Okay, and we're just going to, that's it, line that up on there. Right, a little bit of glue. Like so. Is that roughly 2.5? 2.5, yeah. Okay, I'll just pop that one on. There we go, hold that down. So as you can see, it's beginning to come together. And then we're going to do these last 2.5. But it's up to you how much you want to space these out. Stick that on there. Whew. Here we go. Just put our last little bit on there. All right, okay, so this is part number 5. So we've got slightly, might be able to move, that's it. Before they dry too much, you can move them up and down. Right, okay, here we go. So we're just on our last out of the 6. We've still got 2 more to add on, but we're going to do that once we have put on the actual ends that are going to stick inside our box base and lid. So like so. Right, okay, so there we go. We've got our little hearts. Let's just give them a little Squeeze, make sure that they are well and truly stuck together. How cute does that look? And the thing is that, you know, you could write little words and that on there, maybe spell out a sentence or something. You know, it's just an extra little thing that you can do. Now, what I've done is I've cut out here 2 squares, 2 inches by 2 inches, and I'm just going to find roughly the center, and I'm just going to poke tiny, let's poke a little hole in on that one, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other one. Now one of these I think is slightly smaller than the other, so that one is going to go on the base. So this is where it gets a little bit fiddly. Here we are. I'm just going to pop that through like so, and then I'm going to tie a double knot. So I'm going to do one, and then I'm going to do another one, because I don't want it to come through the hole. Oops. I'm all fingers and thumbs tonight. Where are we? Okay. Like so. Right, let's just give that a little test. Okay. Now, you can see why I haven't stuck the other one down, because I've got a bit of a gap here, and until I've stuck that in, I wouldn't be able to see where I was going to put that final heart. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same on the other end. So I'm going to tuck, oh, come on. Why is it? There's always one. Let's make that hole just a little bit bigger. Come on, through you go. You're having difficulties like I am. You can always resort to putting a little bit of sellotape around it. But there we go. All right, and now I'm going to do a double knot on this one as well. So we're going to put one in on there, and then we're going to double knot that again, and hopefully that's going to be enough to, might need to move that down a little bit actually. Let's just come round like so. Right, I've got 2 little knots there, so I need to join that in together. There we go, that's one big knot. Let's see how that copes. Brilliant. Okay, so that's where we're at. We've got our top and our bottom. So now I can put one of the hearts down here. So again, I'm just working on my 2.5 bit, so that I'm just going to lay that just on there. I'm going to add a bit of glue. You can see that. Let me move that over a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So look, I'm just moving that down so that sort of sits on there. That's going to come across. Just try not to get it on the bit of card. Up just a fraction. 1, 2.5. There we go. Right, and I'll just add that on there, like so. So that's our bottom one in, and now we've just got to do the top. So I'm just going to flip that over. Now I'm just looking at that. Actually, I don't think I'm going to get that top one in, but I think that looks pretty cool. I mean, if I did, I'd have to squeeze it right in, right at the very top, and I don't think that's going to go in. So I'm going to leave that. Okay, well, there we go. So we've got a few little hearts on our little bit of string. or a little bit of baker's twine. Okay, let's back to our book. Let's open this up, and then what we're going to do is make sure we get them around the right way. Is that we're then going to put some glue on here, and that's going to stick down into the base. So let's put in some glue. Like so. But obviously if you wanted to put patterned card in the bottom, you can do, but you would just need to attach it onto your little hearts. We're just going to tuck that down in there. Just going to hold that down for a minute until that sticks like so. And then the lid, now bearing in mind that the lid is directional, I need to make sure that when I stick this in, that when I pull it up, that the hearts are, I know they're twisting a little bit, but it will. So that's the way that I'm going to glue that in. So again, let's just pop some glue around, put the little lid on, and we're just going to pop that down into there. Centre that a little bit. There we go. Just hold that in place. And then when you tuck those back in, there we go. And then that just sits on like that. So in here we've got our little jigsaw. And this side we've got our little string of love hearts. Oh, okay. Right, let's just tuck that down. All right, and then over onto the other side. Okay, we've got, now on my original one, I've put an envelope. So here I've got an envelope that I've already made. Now this is a 6" by 6" card that I've used, and I'm fortunate enough to have one of these, which is how I've made my envelope. Now this will take a 3" by 4" little white card to go in. So if you've got some tiny little envelopes, you can pop one on. You don't have to put an envelope on there. It's just that I thought it'd be quite nice to be able to tuck little messages in. So I have gone around and inked and faux stitched on that as well. So I'm just going to do that now. If you haven't got a envelope maker like I have, then if you cut yourself a 3" piece of card, cut yourself the 6" square, and then what you can do is you can put your 3 by 4" bit of card in the middle, and then fold your envelope around it, and then that will create your basic envelope. And then you can just, if you've got a corner around it, you can just do the corners and then just cut out a little bit on here just to give it a little bit of ease there for that for folding. All right, but I do know that there are plenty of YouTube videos on how to make envelopes as well. But yeah, that's what I normally do. If I haven't got one, I would cut out a square and just fold the paper around. Right, because this is an envelope, I'm just going to put a little bit of red liner tape either side of that, because I just want to make sure that it sticks together. Now this is slightly thinner. This is 9mm red liner tape. So it's a little bit thinner than the others. Whoops, oh, that stuck down before I gave it a chance to, come on. Oh, that was lucky. Right, I'm just going to put that down on the edge. So just trim that off. Okay, I'm just going to peel those off. So this is my little envelope that's going to go on the base. But if you don't, you don't have to put one on. Or you could make an envelope and have it tucked in one of your pockets. or you could make an envelope and tuck it inside your box. You know, at the end of the day, it's up to you what you do. Now, this closure, because I've used patterned paper for this, on my original one I used black card and then I decorated it. But on this one I've used two like double-sided patterned card, so it just gives it an extra element there of, you know, sort of like a different colour swatch to what I'm, you know, on the outside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little Velcro dot to hold that down in place. But if you was doing it with black cardstock and you were decorating the outside, then you could hide it and put a magnet in there instead. But because I've got this, I'm using little Velcro dots, and these are, I think they're just under, well, they're not that very wide at all. Let me just measure this, give you a rough idea. This is 3/8 of an inch, little ones. You can get them in black or white. Okay, let's just peel these off. And I do believe I got these, I think I got these off of eBay, I think. Right, okay, so I'm going to stick one central to the flap there. So that's one bit, and then the other half, if you've not used Velcro dots before, you get a hook one and you get like a little fuzzy one. I'm going to stick the hook one on top of that, and then when I fold that down and put some pressure on there, that should just hold that in place now. Just put your finger on there for a minute, and then hopefully when you come to open it, you can get your finger under there and that should just pull right off. There we go. Okay, so I've used black just to try and sort of tone it in with the card that I'm using on the outside of the envelope, and then that is going to stick on there. But again, because I'm sticking it on, I want it to hold its place, so I'm just going to use a bit of red liner tape just to secure it on there. So let's just pop on our little envelope. Okay, like so. Just cut that, and I'm going to do that one. And I'm just going to put a little strip down the middle because I don't want it to come off my pocket. So there we go. Give this a little burnish. Okay, and then I'm just going to take off this. Here we are. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue just so it can give me a little bit of wiggle room, because that's what we want. Who else have we got watching us this evening? Let's have a little look. Ah, Janina, thank you for joining us. Welcome. Just put a little bit of it just sounds so funny, it just squeaks away. It's glue. Oh, honestly, I really need to get out more, people. If I'm getting excited about a bit of glue on a bit of red liner tape, I'm in trouble, that's for sure. Right, here we go. Let's just move everything out of the way. So now because this has got lines, that will help me a little bit. Just lining that in, and I'm just sort of, again, if you're not 100% sure, just going for it, then you can measure it before you drop it in. But I just want to make sure that that top edge and that looks fairly straight. Right, there we go, we're in. And breathe. Okay, now what I put in here in the stacked pockets was a photo mat. Let me just show you in the original one. So I put in a little photo mat, okay, which is 4 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inch, and then the white card is 4 by 6, so that is like your average photo size. So I'm just going to pinch that one for a minute and just pop it into there. Okay, so you can see how that sort of goes in. Okay, and I also made a little just a little one, like a little mini folio, little tiny one. I've not put anything in here, but this was, if I give you the measurements, let's actually see if I've got some black cards stuck here. We'll knock one up quick to go in. It's a little bit on the small side. See, I'm still using up my scraps. I'm all about using up the scraps. Perfect, that will work. Okay, so let's pop that way. Now the measurements for this one is, if I remember rightly, it's 4¼ inches by 6½. So let's measure and trim that down. So what did I say? 4¼ So I'm just gonna 4¼ by 6½. That's a 6½. Right, okay, I'm just going to trim that down. Okay, all right, so that's my bit of card then. All right, and then basically what I've done is I've just scored it in the middle. Okay, which is 3¼ So 1, 2, 3¼ Score it down the middle, and then just fold that. And that is my little mini portfolio. Now the reason why I've done it this size is because this will take a 3×4 photo. Okay, and the same on that. So you could put 1, 2, 3 photos in. You could put pattern paper on the front and the back and just have photos in the middle, or you could have just pattern paper or a photo on the front, and you could put plain cardstock in here and just write a lovely little message. Whatever you want to do is what you can do on that. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck that in there. Okay, so I'm just sort of giving you some ideas here. And then the card, I made the Valentine's Day card, so let me just show you. Okay, so this was the Valentine's Day card. Now the measurements for this one that I made, because I made it so it would slot in the top of the stacked pocket. Okay, and this is my bit of white cardstock, so because you don't need an envelope because it's all going into the book itself, so you can, you know, you can sort of adjust the sizes and that. But basically this was 9½ inches by where are we, by 7½ inches. All right, and again I've just scored it down the middle, so 9½, so that's 4, by my math that's 4¾ I'm hoping. 4¾ inch, so we're just going to score down there. Okay, all right, I'm just going to fold that over like so. Where's me Bernie? I'm going to burn and shut across. And that is my basic card that I used, which then tucks in there, and then I just decorated that with any odd scraps and stuff that I had left. So that is the basics on the inside. Okay, I'm not going to, I'll be honest, I'm not going to decorate the card tonight because I'm not quite sure who I'm going to give this box to yet, but I just wanted to sort of give you the measurements of the card size that I used. But for the for this particular one, as I said earlier, I just used diagonal strips going across. Now the strips themselves, if I just give you a little measurement, if you wanted to do a card like this, is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and I just did that at a 30-degree angle, and I just lined them all down, stuck them all down, and then I went round and trimmed off the edge. Obviously I've added some ribbon, and I've just picked up some of the hearts that I used to decorate the front of this book when I was die cutting, and I've just simply added a couple of those on. Nothing over complicated. So if you're unsure about making your own card, very simple design to use. Okay, so that's how I did those. All right, and the last little bit is what I'm going to sort of decorate the front with. So we'll just fold that over. So at the moment I've got this lovely roses and little hearts and lips and that going on. So what I've got here is I've got some little bits, so slightly different design decoration than the other one. Now whenever I'm doing anything like this, I just like to have a little play. I don't stick this down until I've actually worked out what I'm going to be doing. So I've got some black on red. Now I was really lucky, I was rummaging through my stash and trying to match up the red, and look at this. I mean, I found this, and I think that just, I know it doesn't quite go with the colour on the inside because the red is slightly different shade, but I thought for out the front that is just such a good match. I think that was pure luck more than anything. But anyway, so I'm just going to, let's pop that out the way for the minute. So the idea is I'm going to put the black card there. Now the size for that, if you want to know, is, let's have a little look. We've got 4.5 inches by 6.5, and then this mat on there is 6.25 inches, so that should be 4.25. Yeah, so I've just come in 1/4 of an inch. So the idea is I'm going to stick that down like so, and I have inked and faux stitched all the way round already. And because the paper range that I was using, because it's scraps, I didn't really have any like embellishments, not like the little love notes from like Echo Park where you've got all the stickers and things like that in there. I didn't really have anything, so I've had to sort of rummage through my stash to find some bits that I'd got. So I found this lovely set of stamps that I had, which I had like lips and lipstick there, and we had a couple of lovely words. We've got XOXO, and I love this one, Dare to Be Different. I just think that's fantastic, especially if I'm going to give this as a birthday gift. So what I thought I'd do is, as you can see, I've gone around and faux stitched, and I've mounted the white on the black. So my idea is to sort of layer that on like so, and then I've got the, I might put, you see what I like to do is perhaps go a little bit wonky, not necessarily having it straight, but we'll see. Maybe tuck the lipstick behind there. You've got the lips just coming over like so. So I could sort of, or I could have it just off centre. If I want, and then I cut out a couple of hearts, some like biggish hearts that I try to pick out the patterned papers from inside. So although that is red, but I thought if I mount that, or that comes over and they maybe overlap, I could have a little collection sort of going on underneath. Like so, and these, when I stick these on, this could sort of just come slightly off over the album cover, because I could always add a name in there if I wanted, or I put another little word. And then I did cut out some little black hearts, which I thought I could sort of, if I wanted to, sort of scatter around the album. The other thing I found that I had was some little white hearts with, don't know if you remember the little sweeties, like the little love heart sweeties. It's just got me and you. It's got love, love you on there. We've got XOXO, hot stuff. There's a few different ones. True love, you rock. What was the other one? Oh, be mine. I mean, obviously some of these are ideal for Valentine's Day, but if I was doing this as a birthday gift, I'd probably just put a couple on. But again, maybe I could sort of tuck these somewhere. But that's my plan anyway, to decorate the front of the albums. So let's start sticking these down. So sometimes you just have to... Oh, thank you, Alexa. I don't need your help. Thank you. I wonder where she comes. Just random voice coming up from there. I wondered, I thought somebody walked into the room. It's just a bit scary. Okay, so let's get this stuck down, and we'll get this album cover finished. So I'm just going to stick a bit of red on like so. Just going to line that up on there, and again allowing that 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. Wow, I'm getting me 1/4 of my 8s muddled up tonight. Sorry guys, but 1/8 of an inch round the edge. There we go. I'm going to pop that on there, XOXO. So I'm going to line the white so it goes up. I might need to trim just a fraction of that black off, but we'll do that once I've stuck everything down. So I'm just preparing this ready before it goes onto the album, in case I mess it up and then I haven't ruined the whole of the album cover. Okay, so just tuck that on like so. There we go. But you could put a picture of somebody on the front. Doesn't have to be anything like this, but just different ideas. Alright, let's just run my knife down that. It's very thin slither. Where did I put my knife? Oh, there we are. Oh, goodness me. Okay, so I think that's taken, I think that's just taken that off just a fraction. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm going to leave that as it is now then. All right, and then we've got the hearts. Now I could raise some of this up a little bit. I'm going to tuck that in just under there. So let's just put a little bit of glue on there. Just tuck that underneath before that completely dries. And I think I might have that just coming off that edge there, just so it incorporates it a bit more into the album cover. And then we've got the lips that I think are just going to come in here now. I could raise them onto foam pads, but I think I'm going to do that. Right, I'm going to put these little hearts. So if I group these little hearts together, maybe tuck that in there, and then I could have the dare to be different just coming off at an angle maybe, and bring that down a little bit. Sometimes you just got to play with these things a little bit just to see how it looks. So I'm just going to glue that to the edge of that one, and then I'm going to put the red one over the top. Like so. That's it. So it just, and then that will tuck in there, and then we'll have the little lips coming on there, and then I might have that dare to be different. I might do it at a jaunty angle. There we go. It's quite exciting, really. Let's just pop that. I'm going to bring that down just a fraction. That's it, and I've got that just coming off that edge there as well. Actually, that works nice. So it just incorporates that a little bit, and then we'll have the little lips over the top. And we'll put them at a little wonk as well. There we go. All right, and then I'll dare to be different. I'll have coming off at an angle. And we'll just have that coming off slightly off the edge. There we are. Okay, now the moment of truth. We just need to pop this on the front cover and see what it looks like. Oh yeah. How cool is that? And I think maybe my heart's here a little too big. Perhaps I might need to punch out a couple of little smaller hearts, just a dot here and there. Let me just get my little punch. Oh, right. I've got some black cardstock here, so I've got these ones. I just need to, sometimes you just got to, it's not until you start putting it together that you can see. Oops. Okay, they're alive. Right, it's just so fiddly. Right, well, I haven't stuck this down, but we could maybe have a couple little hearts. I don't know. Actually, I'm saying hearts. I'm putting that in there. I don't necessarily think it needs it. In which case, less is more, as they say. Right. Okay, we'll just put those to one side. So let's get this stuck on. And then, obviously, in here, I can add a couple of other little bits as well, but I'm just going to flip that over. I'm going to use a little bit of red liner tape on the back of this, because again it's going on the front cover. I want to make sure it sticks and it doesn't come off. And like so. And there we go. And put a strip down the middle. And I'm going to run a little bit of glue up and down the other bits. There we go. There we are. And then we are almost done. One, two. Now, if you wanted, you could make a little tag and thread that onto the ribbon. If you wanted, if you were giving this to somebody as a gift, it's completely up to you. Or, I suppose what we could have done, oh dear, why didn't you think of that earlier? We could have made a box to put the book in. Ah, okay, maybe, just maybe, I might have to go away and do that and come back and show you that as well. All right. So here we are. Now, I'm gonna, again, if you were really worried about just sticking this straight on, then you can sort of measure out your tops and your bottoms, as it were. But I'm just gonna go for it. There we are. Right, let's just press that on. Now, what I could do actually is, rather than put the little love hearts on, I could maybe put a couple of little sparkly gems just to give it a little bit of oomph. I'm going to tuck a little bit of glue just behind that lipstick there, just so it holds on to that bit. There we go. There we are. And that is our book of love done, pretty much. As I said, in here, might tuck a little red heart on there, just to sort of give that a little bit. Now, other little tips, I think I'm going to stick that on there, quite like that on there. Other little things that you could do that I've not done in this, but obviously you can go mad on what you want to do in terms of your decoration. I could added like little ribbon loops. You had little ribbon loops to pull those up if you wanted. I mean, there's just so much. You could punch a hole in the top here, and so you can link through and add charms to it. I mean, there's just so much that you can do. But I think for an evening's worth of work, I don't think that's come out too badly, apart from the Valentine Day card that we haven't decorated in these odd little couple of bits. But I think that's down to you, because this isn't going to be used for Valentine's Day. This is going to be used for a birthday gift. But there we are. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching this evening, and I'm not 100% sure what I was planning to do for next week. I'm trying to do something every week, just to, you know, keep us all out of mischief. But there we go. Let me just check my lovely calendar and see what I had planned for next week. Here we go. Good love. What did I have after that? Oh, we might be making a little quick and easy mini album next week, but I'll see how we get on. I might end up making a box to put this in, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Please do give it, you know, pop in a comment if there's anything that you would like to see, or any other albums and designs and stuff like that you'd like me to sort of go through them. By all means, please do put comments in, and obviously I'll pick those up, and then I can see what we're going to do. But after all, that's me done for this evening. Have a wonderful evening, and hopefully see you next week. Take care. Bye.